Yes, our dear candidates, I hope you're doing well wherever you are. This is Benjamin Okwin with lesson 11. But before we go straight to lesson 11, let's have the correction lesson 10 done. At the moment, I also welcome you to this digital life. I expect you to concentrate and benefit from it. We are getting back to correction to lesson 10, where the question says you learned the usage of needn't. I believe you understood. The work given to you had few questions. The number one says it was not necessary for Python to shout at night. You were required to identify that which was not supposed to be done. 2, you're supposed to identify the tense in which the work was given. Use of needn't calls for only 2 areas you understood: that which was done and that which was not done. You talked about the blame and you talked about the advice. So for this, we see the work was done. We're saying it was not necessary for Python to shout at night. So the answer will be Python needn't have shouted at night. We have the statement in past tense, meaning the work was done, and so we are blaming this boy. He needn't have shouted at night. Question 2 read, the butcher is not supposed to slaughter those sick animals. This means the man hasn't slaughtered yet, but we're telling him that there is no need. And here we advise him. And if we're advising him, we shall say, the butcher needn't slaughter those sick animals. We see a difference, number 1 and number 2. Number 1, the work was done. Python shouted at night, and we blamed him. He needn't have shouted at night. But number 2 gives us a warning to this person, the butcher. He hasn't slaughtered yet, and therefore we tell him not to slaughter. By using needn't, we say the butcher needn't slaughter those sick animals. Number 3, so the question says Ochan was not supposed to break that area, meaning he did the action of breaking. And here we blame him by saying Ochan needn't have broken that area. Mark the usage of the helping verb have. This gives us a clear step to know that this action was done, and so we just blame him by saying Ochan needn't have broken that area. Look at the question number 4. It is wrong for the candidate to take their books home. It is wrong for the candidates to take their books home. This statement is giving a warning. The action is not yet done. And so here we just advise the person. Using needn't, we shall say the candidates needn't take their books home. The candidates needn't take their books home. Here is an advice. The number next says the herds boy oughtn't to starve the animals. The herds boy oughtn't to starve the animals. Here we are also advising this young man, the herds boy, not to starve the animals. Using needn't, we shall say the herds boy needn't starve the animals, as you can see, as you can watch. Next number says Clint woke up late, yet it was not necessary. Clint woke up late, yet it was not necessary. This action was already done. We saw the boy come out late. Maybe he was expected to come very early. What was necessary was coming out early, waking up early. But the boy woke up late. So the answer will be Clint needn't have woken up late. Clint needn't have woken up late. We are not just blaming him. We're saying it was not necessary for him to wake up late. That is the answer. And the last one says, it was not necessary for Patel to smooth those planks. It was not necessary for Patel to smooth those planks. From number 1 to this last number, we realize that there is that use of helping verb that leaves it either in the present or in the past. If the statement comes in the present form, it means the action is not yet done, and there we advise. And if the action is already in past tense, like this one here, it was not necessary. It was, mark the word was. It puts the action in past. So the answer will be a blame, of which the answer will be Patel needn't have smoothed those planks. Those have been the answers to those numbers. I believe you successfully got them right. Those who have failed, please do the needful corrections. Thanks. So, dear candidates, I welcome you to the next lesson. That is the study on what we call as conditional sentences. Conditional sentences. When talk about conditional sentences, we look at those sentences that consider the conditions of a given condition and the possible outcome. We look at conditions which are not done and their outcome. We look at conditions which are done and their outcomes. Then we use the given structure as a conditional sentence. This conditional sentence can also be called as if clause. Let's have a look at the first statement. We say conditional sentences are used to show an activity or event that will or would take place if a certain condition is or was fulfilled. Here we see the given condition. For example, going to school. Of course, when you go to school, we expect you to learn. And if you don't go to school, you don't learn. Like right now, you all went to school. And here the school is reaching you. We believe learning is taking place. Let's give another condition. If you fetch water, of course you will bathe. Here you realize that the condition of bathing is fetching water. Friends, we also have it known as conditional sentences are referred to as if clauses, like I told you. An if clause appears in 3 forms or kinds. We have it as if 1, if 2, if 3, and I believe these words are not new to you. You had some introduction in those classes, and you want to learn them into details. Friends, if we look at if 1, what we call as condition 1, what are the sentences we consider here? We look at sentences which are in their conditions that are not done, and the conditions and the results basing on the given condition. Friends, we're saying it has 2 parts or 2 areas. This condition 1 has 2 parts or 2 areas. We have the first part known as the if clause, and the other as the main clause. The if clause calls for the condition, and the main clause calls for the results. But for the results to happen, the given condition must be fulfilled. Let's all read the line you can see. We say, if clause has the present simple, whereas the main clause has the future simple. You realize that if clause gives us the condition. For example, if you understand this lesson, that's when you will put all the answers right. So you realize that we look at understand as the main tense in that sentence. If I understand, so we're saying the if clause has the present simple tense. Then the main clause has to be put in the future. That is when we say, I will answer all the questions right. Mark the word will. Let's take a few steps inside the lesson through the examples. And the examples we want to look at are the sentences in both positive and negative. Meaning we shall give a sentence, for example, if I go to Kenya, what I expect to see are the Kenyans. The number reads, if I go to Kenya, I'll see Kenyans. We see two phrases, yes. The first one, if I go to Kenya, is our condition. That will help us see the Kenyans. You realize I'll see Kenyans is our result, the outcome of going to Kenya. But I want to take us back to the first phrase, if I go to Kenya. Look at the verb go and identify the tense in which the sentence is in. The phrase is in. You realize this is present simple, if I go. Then the outcome, I will see Kenyans. Mark the word will. This puts our phrase in a future tense. And this is future tense present. So this one qualifies to be an if clause 1. If I go to Kenya, I'll see Kenyans. So we realize the two parts. The first part, which is called the if clause, if I go to Kenya. Then the second part, I'll see Kenyans, which is our main clause. Our main reason of going to Kenya will be seeing the Kenyans. Let's take a study on the punctuations. If we begin with an if clause, we separate the two clauses by a help of a comma. Like we have said, not the use of a comma. Meaning if you omit the comma, then the answer will be wrong. Take the next example. I'll see Kenyans if I go to Kenya. You realize that here we have brought the results in the first part. I'll see Kenyans if I go to Kenya. Now, meaning if we begin with the results, we don't use the comma. As you can see, we don't use the comma in that sentence. But if you begin with the main clause, an if clause, we separate the clauses with the comma. Let's take the next example. If I don't go to Kenya, that is a negative. If I don't go to Kenya, I will not see Kenyans. Yes, if I don't go to Kenya, I will not see Kenyans. You realize the only condition here is going to Kenya. So if I don't, the outcome must also be negative. That's why I was saying, I will not see Kenyans. Still in future. The results is put in future. The condition is put in present tense, though negative. If I don't go to Kenya, I will not see Kenyans. Let's take example 2. If Martha gets money, she will buy a bottle of sanitizer. So you realize the condition of buying a bottle of sanitizer is getting money, of which Martha must. So we're saying if Martha gets money, she'll buy a bottle of sanitizer. That is the answer. Martha will buy a bottle of sanitizer if she gets money. Here we are realizing that when we begin the sentence with the given condition, we separate the clause with the punctuation mark comma. But if we begin with the result, Martha will buy a bottle of sanitizer if she gets money. You realize that we don't use that punctuation mark, the comma, for that case. Friends, let's look at that in negative. If Martha doesn't get money, the other one was if Martha gets, she will buy. Here, if Martha doesn't get money, if the condition is negative, then the result automatically will also be negative. That's why I was saying she will not buy a bottle of sanitizer. If Martha doesn't get money, she will not buy a bottle of sanitizer. Friends, that one has been that. Let's start with the results. Martha will not buy a bottle of sanitizer if she doesn't get money. Take that in consideration. Friends, you realize that we only buy a bottle of sanitizer if the given condition is fulfilled. Which condition? Getting money. That was saying we cannot that for the results, which is buying a bottle of sanitizer to happen, the condition which is given must be fulfilled. Which condition? Yes, getting money. So those are the areas we want to really get to know about the usage of if clause 1 especially. I want to take you to the next part. Use of if clause in positive and negative sentences. More examples. And before this, I would ask you to think of a condition that you would do, and we also expect a result. Then you construct a sentence using an if clause over that, based on the given examples. Create a condition. Yes. What condition do you give yourself? For example, one would be given a condition, sweep the compound. And the outcome will be, the parent will be happy. Condition of the parents being happy is to sweeping the compound. How can you construct a sentence over that? Using an if clause. I believe you've got what to say. Take a look at my number 1. We have this condition, her getting money, her buying, and no shirt. Can we all join this sentence, these phrases, beginning if? What shall we say? Join the sentence, the condition, with the results by the help of if. Of course, our answer will be, if she gets money, she will buy a no shirt. Remember, our subject in the question was her. And therefore, we take this pronoun, if she gets money, she will buy a shirt. You realize buying a shirt is only dependent on the condition getting money. Then, shall we also look at it beginning with the results? We shall have it that she will not buy a new shirt if she gets money. Look at condition 2. Not ironing your shirt and not putting it on. If you don't iron your shirt, by the way, if you don't iron your shirt, that's putting it negative. Number 1 is her getting money is in positive. If she gets, here we're saying not ironing your shirt, meaning the condition is negative, so we make our if clause negative by saying if. What is our subject there? Of course, your shirt will take us back to you. If you don't iron your shirt, you will not put it on. You will not put it on. You realize the next phrase, not putting it on. No putting it on is also a negative result. So that has been the answer. If you don't iron your shirt, you will not put it on. How do I tell the tense of the if of this sentence? By checking the tense. If it is in present tense, present simple tense, that is automatically if clause 1. Let's have a look at the next step. My working hard, my passing exams. Of the two, which one is the condition? We have my working hard, my passing the exams. Can we identify which one is our condition? Which one is our result? And of course, the condition is attached to if clause. can we have the sentence constructed using if clause? Just get the condition, attach it with the if clause, then join to the results. Meaning, if, yes, we shall say, if I work hard, I shall pass the exams. If I work hard, I shall pass the exams. Shall we look at the next stage? You don't speak loudly. The audience will not hear you. We see this practically. If one doesn't speak loudly like I'm doing, if I lower my voice, you will not pick me. That is the outcome. So the condition of you picking me clearly is my speaking loudly. So we're saying, you don't speak loudly, the audience will not hear you. Shall we join our sentence using if? Identify the condition and the results. Of course, we shall say, if you don't speak loudly, the audience will not hear you. This is the answer for that. You realize that on reaching here, we can easily tell the tense or the if of the sentence by basing on the given tense. If you don't speak, mark the word speak. If you work hard, am I working hard? If you work hard, that is present simple. You realize that this helps us tell the tense. Then the results is based on future tense present, that is shall and will. I believe with the few steps we have taken, you are able to construct sentences using the if clauses. I expect you to practice this daily. Download the work in the next part given and you do the exercise. Till we meet again next time. Bye.